Trey. Dean said, I didn't say hi to Trey. Hi, Trey. All right, you guys, I'm excited you're here this evening. So today is Wednesday, and Wednesday is our business training. Okay, so we won't be discussing product tonight. That was last night. If you happen to have missed last night's Zoom, it is available on my YouTube channel, so you can go check it out and go from there, right? So anything you need product wise, check with your upline, or we can help you outside of this. We have a huge lineup for you tonight. Okay, so business only, LifeWave, how to grow your business. We're going to kick us off with two promotions. We have two people that have hit huge promotions in LifeWave, and they are going to share their personal story, their experience in LifeWave, and what they did, and how they've grown their business. And then we also have two of our senior presidential directors that are going to be sharing with you exactly how they are growing their business to earn these points in Punta Cana. And then a couple of others are also going to be sharing their points and what they're doing as well. So that will all unfold over the course of the next hour. We do want to be able to answer questions. So if you happen to have a question during a time someone's talking, feel free to drop it in the chat or raise your hand up. It depends on how many people we get on here, whether or not we can do the unmuting. Right now, everyone's muted just for the purposes of not interrupting someone when they're speaking. So with that, let's go ahead and kick it off. I know Trey wants to go first and share. I'm super excited. My Mother's Day present this year was his promotion to presidential director. So he's going to share with you his story, his little journey. And of course, as a mom, I have a little collage of it. So I do want to share his collage as well, too. So Trey, take it away, buddy.
All right. Can you hear me? I'm unmuted.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So my story starts when I was a kid. I was always growing up around multi-level marketing from my mom. She's been through a few prior businesses. So when I was very young in elementary school, I would always go to what they would call Monday morning meetups. So basically, it's like what they do now is like go to Starbucks or a coffee shop and just talk business and stuff like that. So I would always go, and I would always miss Mondays of school. It was just like a non-negotiable thing that we had talked about with my principal and stuff. So I don't know. Um, that was my first like taste of network marketing, and that's like kind of what sprouted the idea of my mind that I wanted to do this when I became 18 to be allowed to do it. And so it was just always in the back of my mind. I used to love charting as well because I was always like a big numbers kid. I loved numbers as a kid. So I loved charting, even though it didn't really make a difference. Like it was just for fun. And we ended up moving to Florida, and I would go out handing business cards to people and stuff like that, just like starting to get towards the business world of things. But I never really was interested in LifeWave until we went to Nice, France. And I guess that was last year when I was a senior year in high school. We went there, and I got to see their conference over there, and it was, really cool. And it got me back into that network marketing space. And so after that, I was like, Mom, I want to get into this when I turn 18. I was only, a few months away from turning 18. So it's like, I want to get into this now. And so the first thing I did was I saw, well, she already has 5,000 followers on Facebook. She's got 10,000 on a different business page. It's like, why would I need, build my own thing from scratch when I can utilize her stuff? So I went through and messaged everyone, and we have the messages of what I used. I would message them, all 15,000 of them, and then I would follow up with them as well. It took me about 6 months to do all of those messaging. About 3 months in, I decided it'd be a good idea to utilize TikTok, start posting LifeWaves videos on TikTok, just like the basic ones. I mean, they're open to the public anyways, but I was just posting them, and then started posting my mom's videos on Instagram. as well. And then that kind of blew up a little bit. I got some good traction off of that. And I was like, you know what, let's start on the YouTube channel because she had about 2,000 subscribers. She was posting her Tuesday night Zooms, her product introduction Zooms. I was like, you know what, I can clip those up and I can get even more traction to your YouTube and create a lot of leads. So I've been doing that ever since. Her YouTube is now almost at 11,000 subscribers. So that was very good. I also, around the time I started YouTube, I started posting on Facebook. So I'd post the shorts on Facebook as well. That got some good traction. And that's kind of what I've been doing for the past year since I've turned 18, a year and a half, I guess it's been. And so I did end up getting into real estate as well, just as like a side thing. It's also always been a dream of mine to be in the real estate aspect of things. My dad has been a builder since I've been a kid, so he's been building spec homes and stuff. I would go, tour the spec homes with him, and I was always like amazed with the whole real estate space. So I got my license, and so I do that on the side, and I work this every day, of course. And then I utilize my real estate connections for LifeWave as well. I actually have met the mentor that I use currently. I met through real estate. We used him for group seminars, which I think we might be doing in the future for LifeWave. He's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been using him ever since then. I was kind of like stagnant for a while with LifeWave. And I've been using him. I've been getting some nuggets of information and utilizing them, and it's benefited me in a very positive way. So, yeah. And then another thing is I love to read. Reading's like a good backbone. That's like where you want to start with things as far as business goes. Like ever since I was a kid, she would make me read. I'm not like a huge avid reader, just like by myself, but she would make me read, and that kind of made me like it. So it definitely benefited me as well. So in the long run, I have her to thank for that, and that's basically my story up to this point.
And what's your favorite book?
Um, I would say either the Master Key System or the Realionaire was
Mm-hmm.
the Realionaire was one I read a long time ago, but it was really, really good.
Okay, so I'm going to share real quickly here for you guys, and there's some questions in the chat. Trey, if you want to look at the chat, can you see that on your end?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
So this is Trey when he was little. So this is him reading. Alchemist was his favorite book when he was little. There's the Millionaire. This kid was a millionaire by the time he was he 13 when he made his first million? I think he was
Yeah,
13 when
he
he
was
made his
13.
first million. Yeah. So this is Trey leading this group of people up in Indiana, up north. He actually had a flip chart behind him. That's what he was doing here. And he was charting them to basically a rank of director. And then after that, he pulled out his book and he's like, we got to read. And this is him sitting in the front row of one of the big, huge meetings in Nashville. We had to sit in the back row because there was no seating up front, but he said the people in the front make the most money. So he ran to the front of the room without us and sat up there by his little 8-year-old self. And then here's his little journey. I just made this little collage for him. This is the European conference in Nice right here. And then this was his first convention, 2023 last year. And then this was our February event, Cancun boot camp. He got to speak on stage. So I know you guys are asking on the messages that he sent, and I will post those in the chat as well too. But Trey, what do you say with the shorts?
Yeah,
Facebook. I
so
want you to talk about that because people like to put all this extra stuff all over it. And can you share with them what you do?
yeah, the shorts on Facebook. So those are just clips that I'll take off YouTube. So I'll post it originally on YouTube. I'll post a short originally on YouTube, and I make sure I always do this for my shorts. I only put some subtitles on the shorts so you know what she's saying clearly. And I don't do too much else because you think about the older generation is the majority of this business, and they don't want all this random editing things that, you know, my generation does on like TikTok videos. It's just like too much. They just want a video, you want the information and you want it clearly. So I put the subtitles there and it makes it really easy. And so from YouTube, I'll just download them on my phone and I'll post them to Facebook stories. It's pretty simple.
Perfect. And so Colleen said you posted the shorts on Facebook. Was it your personal private page or was it a public page?
So it was my mom's public Facebook page.
Yeah, you post on your TikTok. I don't have TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, you post on your TikTok and it drives to my Facebook, my Instagram, my website. And then we post on my Instagram. You do all my stories on Instagram, stories on Facebook business page, and all of it drives to drstacy.com. And that drstacy.com, if you click on anything about the patches, it goes directly to his website. So he's done all of that, all of the masking and the directing and where all that stuff goes.
So someone said, how do we copy your shorts? An easy way is to go on my mom's YouTube and you can download pretty much any of the shorts I've made, which is like over 300 shorts by now. And you can use her, as long as, like, granted you tag her, you can use whatever
No.
short you want.
You don't have to tag me.
Well, I mean,
He's adamant
technically-
about that, but you don't have to.
I mean, yeah, but it's like, it's the nice thing to do. Anyways, you don't have to. You
No.
could use any short. Another way would be you can actually go in her long format videos and you could clip your own shorts and you could do it that way as well, which takes a few more steps. You know, I use a software to clip them up and such, but yeah.
Yep. And I want to share this too real quick. We have one more question, Trey. So when Laura and I were in April, we're in London back in February, and there was a presentation, corporate, and one of the guys that come up and shared on TikTok how he's built his business. He had over 500 points for the Prague trip, and how he built his business on TikTok and what he did with these short form videos. That's what he calls it, short form videos. And everything, his presentation was amazing. He was telling everybody exactly how to do it, what exactly to do. And afterwards, we go to his TikTok channel to look it up to see what all he did. Guess who was on it? Every single video he had videos of him walking a dog. There were a lot of those dog walking videos. But other than that, he clipped every single, and he didn't give me any credit, which is totally fine. I don't expect you to give me credit. You don't need to at me or anything like that, right? He literally had over 500 points for like our Cancun trip, is his Prague trip, #1 in all of Europe, using my videos clipped on his TikTok channel and driving it to his website to collect their emails and blah, 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 all that stuff. So feel free to use the content. It's out there, right? I'm posting it every day. So thank you for sharing. Thank you, Trey. Appreciate that.
Someone said, what method was successful for you when the people who did not respond to you? So yeah, the first round of messages that I sent took about 3 months. And then from there I would go, so we actually have follow-up messages as well that my mom has. And I would follow up with them one time and I would wait. And then I would follow up another time and wait. And, some people obviously are just never going to be interested. And some people, maybe they're not at the point in their life where they are. And you come back in a few months and they are. And that's happened multiple times. And we've even came back with a video. So just over time, people are busy, maybe that day, maybe that week, maybe that month. But persistency is key. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll give you guys the messages. I've got them on my notes section, so I'll put them into the chat. And he doesn't have a website. I do. drstacy.com, and that drives, when you click on patches or any information about the patches, it drives to lifewave.com/TAH Enterprises, which is his LifeWave website. So they are automatically connected through him. Yeah. But I'll put the messages in there. Thank you, Trey. Thank you. Good job, buddy. All right, Charlene, let's get you unmuted, girl. Let's hear your story. Tell us all about Golden Press.
Hi, everybody. So I'm super excited because I just went to presidential director, and It's kind of crazy because when we started the patches, I had no thought of doing the business or sharing or anything like that. It just didn't occur to me. I was in so much misery and pain when I started the patches. That's all my focus was like just feeling better for both Robbie and I, because we were both just living in a lot of pain. And then I started feeling better. And so then I just started telling people about it, because how can you not share this product? I mean, there's nothing like it. And, I've been a massage therapist for over 20 years. So I've had a lot of people come and ask me to be a part of, different businesses, if I'd be interested in, joining. And nothing ever piqued my interest. You talk about piquing your interest, because not that there's not a lot of good companies out there, but everybody has a shake, everybody has an essential oil, vitamin supplement. I mean, there's a lot of good companies that have those, but there's a lot of people that have those. So just, I wasn't interested. But when I started feeling better, I just started telling people about it. I would like call my friends and family, like, you guys are getting on these. My family had no choice, but they're grateful, I mean, but and then I started sending them to my friends too. And I'm like, you guys have to check this out. I mean, look at the difference in me. And then that was the other thing. People noticed the change in me. They noticed my energy. They noticed my whole physical being. And so people just started asking me. So I just started sharing and sharing and sharing and telling everybody. And it just grew because of that, because I am so excited about the product. I'm still so excited about the product. It has changed my life. I mean, how can I not be excited about that? So, I mean, I tell everybody, and I go anywhere. I'm in the print shop today and I am talking to them about the patches, because I keep going in there and getting stuff printed off. And of course, anybody that knows Robbie, he's quite a talker, and they love talking to him. And so they knew all about me before I came in, because normally it's him picking up the stuff for me. But I went in and picked it up today, and they started like asking me questions, because he already started talking about it himself in there. So I mean, anywhere you go, people are hurting, or, there's almost always a reason to bring up the patches. I mean, it is like every other word that comes out of my mouth is, the patches, but that's because I'm super excited about it and it's changed my life. So I just share. And then I have friends that I've given them to. So then I said, all right, hey, you guys want to have a little patching party meeting? We'll go to your house. Let's invite your friends. And so, some of my favorite people that just kind of shocked me is they got on the patches and they're in their 80s. And they're like, hey, will you come over and talk to my family about them? Well, there was like 20 or 30 people there, and they all got on the patches. And so then, it just grew organically, because you can't help but sharing. And so we go to a lot of people's homes. We do a lot of in-home meetings. We at least normally do at least one a week. I don't do the Zooms. I'm, I just, we go to people's homes, and some of the people we've reached out to and said, hey, you're liking the patches, you feel better. Can we come and share with some of your friends and family? And most of the time people are like, yes. Sometimes people don't want you to, and that's okay. Like you said, God's going to put in your path who needs to be on him. And every single day, and every single morning and every single night, we literally pray for God to put people in our path that need the patches. And there's a world full of hurting people, but we seriously don't miss doing that, because you don't know who God's going to put in your path. I mean, like you always say, everything is divine timing. I mean, I've told some of my friends about these patches over a year ago, and they blew me off and didn't want to, hear about it. And then, a year later, they text me and say, hey, my back pain's not going away. The surgery didn't help. Can you tell me more about these patches? Well, yes, yes, I can. So it just, it just kind of went from there. But we tell people about them every single day. So I don't know, that's just been our big thing. And we try to help as many people as we possibly can. And I try to be available to people anytime they call me or text me. And most of the time I'm not done texting until like 11 or 12 at night. But I mean, that's okay. I mean, if when I go to bed, I do turn my phone, I do turn my phone on silent so I can actually go to bed. But um, I try to, I try to be available to help people as much as possible and answer questions because we're just thrilled. We are grateful beyond any words of us being a part of this.
I love that you're talking about consistency and going in people's homes. Do you care to share with them a little bit about what you're doing in the Amish community?
Sure. Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
if
really,
you
I
would have
think
told,
that really is something that's special, and I think that people need to hear that.
yeah, we love the Amish. Like it is crazy. If you would have told me, a year and a half ago that I would be like hanging out with Amish people, I would not have believed you. And that is just not anything that was in our radar. But we spend so much time with the Amish people. We literally have fallen in love with them. Like I don't know, God just has like a special place in our heart from like, we seriously talk to them every single day. I have phone calls from them. They're extremely hard workers. And we had an Amish from like, one of our people, they had gone to see, Ron and Honey, and then they found out that we had a home near an Amish community. The Amish found out that we had a home near their community. And so they asked if we would be willing to go share with their families. We said, of course. And so one day we picked up the Amish people at like 8 in the morning, and we did not drop them off until 12:30 the next morning. We drove all over southern Missouri talking to the Amish people, and we had such an amazing time. They don't have a TV and stuff like that. So they spend all of their time, they play a lot of games, but they do a lot of singing. They have singings every Sunday night, and that's how they get their young people to date is they have singings. And so we're driving down the road with these Amish, and we started, asking them what kind of music they, listened to and what they were allowed to. So I ended up playing some music for them that was an Amish singer. And so, we're driving, Robbie's in the front seat looking in the mirror at me because we're just like, what is happening? And they break out in yodeling, like perfect pitch yodeling. And we're driving down the road, and I'm like, he's just smiling at me in the mirror because, like, this is great. Life is great. We're driving down the road with Amish yodeling. And we went to several different Amish communities that day, and that just exploded. And they all are hurting. They all work extremely hard. I mean, they're they're very, very hard workers, and so they're hurting. And I mean, they fall off roofs. They work their horses and stuff. They make trailers that are hooked to their horses and not trucks. I mean, they're just amazing people. But we do we probably twice a month do meetings with the Amish, and we've actually started reaching out to more Amish because more Amish have gotten the word that we help the Amish. And so we get a lot of calls from the Amish community if we'll go talk to them, or send them information, or they have, this health issue or whatever. And they go to Mexico a lot to get stem cell injections. And so they have found that these patches help them more than the stem cell injections and more than so many other things. And sometimes regular medical doctors treat them like second class citizens. We've just learned so much about them, and it just breaks our heart because they don't treat them right. I'm not saying all doctors, but we have come across some of the stories that they've told us have just been horrifying to Robbie and I. So we just love them, and every single day. I mean, I have one little Amish guy that he literally calls me probably every other day. Like he wants to talk to me. He has anxiety and depression. So we're, doing different patches and he's using them. So he calls to tell me his progress. And I have this other little older gentleman, but he calls me every single day to tell me his progress. But you know what? It doesn't bother me. I absolutely love it. And I mean, this guy's in Kentucky, Pennsylvania. I've got different ones in Pennsylvania, but it's just been super fun to us and we love it so much.
Thank you, Charlene. Well, I want to share this real quickly. So when we first meaning Gary and myself, because Gary is Charlene's sponsor. When we first went to Kansas City last October, Charlene was a new director. And we had a meeting there and we said, get 100 people together and, in a basically 36-hour period. And Gary and I'll fly up and do it. So we did, and there was, right at 80 at one meeting. And I think we ended up closer to 200 between the other 3 meetings we had. But we went back the coldest day of the year in January, and those numbers went up almost double. And we went back again last weekend, and there were over 250 people in the room. And so over a 6-month period of time, she went from director to presidential director. Daily consistent activity at every single day. You heard her say that, right? Talking to different people everywhere she goes, helping people, but then also having these events and creating them. There was nobody in Kansas City doing anything, right? She was a director. And so she said, we're going to have an event. Will you guys come in? I'm like, we can get 100 people in the room. Absolutely. And made that happen. So keep that in mind when you're looking at building your business. No matter where you live, it's up to you to make that decision, right? And to put forth the time, energy, and effort. Charlene, they're asking, how do you talk to them? Do they have phones?
So they are not allowed to have phones. All of them have, or most of them have message phones, or depending on the community, they'll have a community phone that the family can use, or multiple businesses, or if there is a business that they all use, they'll go use that number. So we have message numbers that we can try to call them back on. They'll say that there's multiple families at this number. So yeah, they're not allowed to carry a cell phone on their property.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, thank you, Charlene. I'm so excited for you and your team. You've got an amazing team growing all over the country now. So that's exciting. So thank you for sharing. Congratulations on your promotion, girlfriend.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right, Laura Balzer, I'm going to turn it over to you for our next 2 guests, girlfriend.
So, you guys, we've had some fun on these calls on Wednesdays because, it's really fantastic when you can hear from everybody. I mean, hearing from Trey tonight and hearing from Charlene, you get nuggets. If somebody might say something that means the same, but they've said it totally different and it clicks with you. So we've invited a lot of people on to share. And tonight, Susan Verholtz is joining us because she is a magnet to diamond kits. Now, many of you are, but Susan has this thing that she does, and she has volunteered to come on here tonight and share with all of us. So Susan, where are you, love?
I'm here. Hello, hello.
There you are. There you are, all in blue. How are you?
Lifeway Blue, doing well. Thank you. Really beautiful evening here in Michigan. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, you have the floor, love. So let us know what you thought.
Absolutely. And thank you so much to Trey and Charlene. I've been taking notes here the whole time y'all been talking. So such good information, and congratulations to you both. As far as the diamond, Don jokes around and calls me the Diamond Girl, which is kind of cute because the first year, almost a year and a half in the business, we've been in the business 20 months now, but the first year and a half, I never said anything to anybody about getting a diamond kit. I was intimidated by it. And I thought, oh, that's so much money. I don't dare ask. I mean, just a big wimp. I did, of course, upgrade myself to diamond as the months went on, but I was just really intimidated to ask. And then they released the Cancun trip. And I was looking at those points and I thought, the only way I'm going to go on this if I get out of my comfort zone here, I got to start talking about this diamond. So it motivated me. And then the other thing that motivated me as time was going on, I was looking at the numbers, and anybody who knows me, they know I'm not a huge numbers gal, but I like a value. I am someone who loves a good deal or a value. And so I started to kind of crunch the numbers, and I thought, gosh, if you had a husband and a wife and they got a diamond kit and you've talked to them and they're, open to patching for at least 6 months, they're going to each get, it turns out, 13 X39 and 13 Eon, if you start with those two. So they each, the husband and a wife, so it's 26 sleeves. And I always say that's 26 sleeves for $15.99. So you've got the husband and the wife getting 6.5 months of Eon and 6.5 months of X39. So that's just a huge value. And then I went on to tell them that, X39 retail is $150. And if you buy it in a wholesale pack, it's $99. If you buy it in the diamond kit, it goes down to around $83.41, or I just say 84, right around there. So if you're looking for the best value, this is the best value. And they just started saying yes. So one person said yes, then another person said yes. And before I knew it, there were like 14 people almost in a row that said yes. And it was really getting fun. So now when I meet somebody new, of course, you guys know when you're talking to somebody, if they're like, well, I don't know, I think I'll just start with that silver. I'm a little bit, weary. They're nervous or whatever. I go ahead and sell them the silver, and then I will upgrade them along the way, all the way to diamond. But you can tell if somebody's open, and as you're chit-chatting with them, I've also even had single people just say, I want that value. I'm all about value. So the biggest thing I learned was, don't judge people based on what you're willing to spend, because we all spend money on the things that are important to us. So for a guy, that might be playing around a golf. For the girls, it's her, latest jewelry trinket or a cute outfit. You don't know. It's an experience. It's going on a trip. My dad, he was always known for being pretty, tight with the money, but he's a fly fisherman, and he always had enough money to buy all of his rods and reels and go fishing on all these extravagant trips, including Alaska and things like that. So people have money to spend, and they will spend it on what's important to them. So give them a chance, And so sometimes too, I would say to them, I always say, so start with the diamond. That is what I do now. I start with the diamond. So I say, here's the best value. It's a little bit bigger of a spend up front, but it's going to give you, it is the best value bar none. And I start there and like, I don't know. Then we kind of go down from there. But I always I start with that diamond. And then and if they give me the big, not going to do it, then I'll say, well, if you're looking at you want to try just for a couple of months. But remember, the inventor, David Schmidt, says he really ideally wants people to patch for at least 1 month for every decade of life. And then you make your decision whether or not you want to keep patching. So I'm just very, I don't know, I guess just transparent. And I always talk about, Laura, you used a line at the beginning. I shouldn't call it a line, but a saying that I thought was really nice. You said, we want to take care of your health, but I also want to take care of your wallet. So, I mean, that's so true. And people really do appreciate that. I mean, I had a man I met at a prayer breakfast, started talking to him about the patches. He has a company that's worth like $200 million, I found out later. And he went online and bought a retail X39. And I was like, John, what'd you do that for? I said, you want to pay $150 for one sleeve when we can at least get you in a starter wholesale pack? And he's like, oh, yeah, I want to do that. Call and switch that for me, will you? And I'm like, absolutely. I got you, John. I got you. So we switched it and, got him in a silver, but we will upgrade him. And he's already got people he's talking about wanting to share with. But my last tip, I know you asked me to talk about the diamond, but the last thing I wanted to say, and it's just something, as we're growing and learning in this business, we're always growing. I now never leave home without Ice Wave. Do not leave your house without Ice Wave, because I don't care, like Charlene was saying, wherever you go, there are people in pain. So have it in your pocketbook, have it in your gym bag, be ready, be very liberal and generous with your Ice Wave, and just get them on people. It's at a funeral on Saturday. And afterwards, there's the fellowship and everybody's eating. And this guy was sitting next to me. He could barely move. His back hurt so badly. And I said, well, I've got something for you. And I started telling him about, of course, Dr. Don's sitting next to me, just never said a word. So I'm going on and on about Ice Wave, and Don's just eating. Don's like, I'm not working right now. And I'm like, no, you've got to see this Ice Wave. So I said, here are these patches. And I said, do you want to go in the bathroom when your wife can put them on you? He goes, oh no, we're doing it now. He lifts up the back of his shirt. And
At a
we put them
funeral.
at a funeral, at the luncheon afterwards.
I
And
love it.
we pop them on, and he's, you know, the eyes go from pain to surprise, because he was instantly out of pain. So
I love that.
it's exciting. And we also always bring Ice Wave 2 to our in-person meetings as well, and patch people at the meeting.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That's a great tip, Susan. And
Mhm.
just to remind everybody, let me just bring in this little caveat here. You know, Susan said something about 14 diamonds. You know, once she got rolling, the domino effect started, and it just, here they come, right? So let me just go over a little few numbers with you, okay? If you do not hold a diamond pack yet, or you're not a senior director yet, you know, when you have somebody get started on a diamond pack, you make a $200 PIB. Well, when I times that by 14, that's $2,800. Boom. However, if you do hold a diamond pack within that first 14-week period, or you are a senior director and above, you guys know that the PIB is 500. Well, you add 14 to 500, y'all, that's $7,000 just in PIB. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit, start talking diamonds, because things can change for you. So Susan, you're amazing. We love you. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. So tonight, Jody Gravely wants to share with you guys how she opens up in a discussion to get people started, and how she's offering these products to people. So Jody, how are you, girl?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
I could just sit and listen all night. Charlene, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. You deserve that promotion. You're so awesome helping so many people. And of course, I've watched Susan from day one, and how it has evolved for her. And she's always been excited, but now it's just like on steroids. So I love it, love it, love it working with you guys, knowing you guys. You know, I've learned a lot from Susan. Hey, you can learn a lot from your downline, you know, and she forces me to get out of my comfort zone sometimes. And I'm like her probably in the beginning. It was just so easy to enroll silvers. You know, I'm like Stacy, I don't ever talk about bronze or Laura or anybody, you know, just the silver. But a lot of times now when I'm talking to people, I will say, do you want to come in with an introductory pack, or would you like to get the very best price? And see what they say. And so then I kind of do what Susan does, you know, with the diamond pack. And if that's a little much for them, I'll back down to the platinum. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, if they're wanting to get that best price, they'll come in with at least that platinum. So, you know, that's always a good thing. And I've just honestly started that in the past 6 months, and it is just working so well to get people to come in with bigger packs. And so when they get ready to upgrade, though, if they don't come in with one of those bigger packs, of course, you all know how to upgrade from silver to gold. When somebody comes in, they say, no, I just need to do the basic, and they come in with a silver pack. Of course, I'm following up with them almost every week for a while to see how they're doing with their patches. But when they come in with the silver pack, I tell them, let me know when you need more patches, and I'll help you get a free patch. And so they're not going to go on and order by themselves. They're going to let me know because they want to know how they can get a free patch. And so that is the easiest upgrade ever from silver to gold. Everybody loves free, right? So, and for the longest time, I just tried to get them on auto ship after that. And then I don't know if it had something to do with what Susan was doing or what, but finally I got this crazy epiphany. Oh my goodness. They're not going to ever upgrade and get a better price unless you ask them. And so now when somebody has a gold pack and they come to me and they say, hey, I need X39 and Eon, can you order that for me? Because I do most of the ordering for all my customers, because I swear, guys, they order more if you do it for them, okay? And they don't have to go worry about it. So, you know, every day I've got people messaging me, can you order this and that for me? So when they ask, you know, hey, I need more X39 and Eon, how much will that be? And so I come right back and I'll say, I'll be glad to hook you up with that. That'll be about $170, but let me check and see if there are any deals. And they always say, okay. And so then I pull out my little sheet, and guys, I got this before Dr. Stacy did the one without the bronze on it. So now you can have the PDF that has, you know, the one without the bronze on it. So, but I get out my little sheet and I figure up how much X39 and Eon they would get going from gold to platinum. And so I come back to them and I say, let's see. Yes, you can get a month supply for 170, but you can get a 4-month supply plus an energy enhancer for 500. So that saves you over $260. Which one would you like to do? And I swear 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh, I want to do the $500, because that's a lot of savings. And so then the same thing happens, you know, when people are platinum. And I'll say, be sure and let me know, you know, next time you need patches, because, you know, I'll see if there are any more deals. And I take them, you know, they'll call me and they'll say, okay, I'm ready for more and I'm using X39 and Eon, you know, what do you have for me? And Stacy's always said, once you do that, even once you do from silver to gold, people are messaging you all the time, what deals do you have? And so when they're going from platinum to diamond, and they like, I'm just using X39 and Eon, but what you need to do is get out this sheet and figure out how much they would get going from one to the next for the patches they're wanting. It might be more than X39 and Eon, but I'm just using that for an example. And so from platinum to diamond, I'll say, yes, I can get you X39 and Eon. It'll be 170 for a month, or you can get 5 months for $600. That saves you over $280. So you got the savings that it saves them immediately, plus the shipping, if they paid shipping every month for 5 months. So that's why I come up with the over $280. And then I just say, which one would you like to do? And, you know, we're just upgrading people, me and Dr. Stan, all the time, from gold to platinum and platinum to diamond, by using that little sheet, figuring out how much they could get and showing them what the actual savings is over buying monthly. And so it's just working so well. You know, we're just really enjoying it. And I want to put one little last tidbit in, and this has nothing to do with upgrading. And no offense to anybody that's way older than me on this, because I mean, I'm 65, but Dr. Stan recently enrolled a lady who's 80. And of course, a lot of people that she's sending to us, and he told her, if you have anybody you want to share this with, just send them to us and, you know, we'll help you get them hooked up. So lo and behold, she has sent us a couple more people that are like 80. And guys, they are so excited. Don't judge people, and don't think somebody that's older doesn't want to build, because this lady went manager in like 2 or 3 weeks. And then, you know, one of the ladies she enrolls been sending people for us to talk to and get enrolled. And Dr. Stan enrolled 3 people today for one of her friends who is 80 and another one for her. So, you know, just my last little tip, don't judge people. If they're young like Trey, they need that performance bundle. You know what? Because they're active, a lot of them work out, they need that performance bundle. If they're older, of course, you know why they need them, but don't assume that they wouldn't want to build a business or that they can't share these products, because these 2 ladies are freaking excited and they are telling everybody. And I'm almost worked myself out of my part-time job, and heck, I'm just going to have to totally quit so I have time to help these people.
I think that's a fabulous idea.
I love it. I love it.
You know, Jody, thank you. You know, I know you and Stan are out there. You're talking to people all the time. You're helping people all the time. And, you know, it shows. And we're grateful for your offerings and thank you. I think it's great everyone's contributing here. So thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. She can
Yeah,
hear me.
gotcha.
Okay, good.
Fantastic. Thank you, Susan and Jody, for sharing those amazing tips. You know, you guys, they're SPDs. So being, you know, an SPD, they've been through everything you've been through, and you heard they've done things different in the past, and now they're, you know, they're doing them a little bit differently because they've learned. And so take that as a, you know, cue, like, maybe I shouldn't make those mistakes, and maybe I should start right now, right? Because I bet they probably think, man, if I would have done that back then, right? Where would I be if I would have started that way, right? Or if I would have done that in the beginning. So keep that in mind too. So the last thing we're going to do, we have some people that, I don't know if you talked to anybody else, Laura, but I know you did. I know your points and I know my points. We are obviously in the running for Punta Cana, right? And we've talked about that the last 2 weeks. And I did another post on Facebook again. So Laura, I know you said you had 18 points in the last 2 weeks. Do you want to share with them what you're doing to get those points and what that looks like for you?
Sure, absolutely. You know, one thing that I did when we found out that the trip was coming up and we saw the qualifications from all the screenshots from the trip when everybody was in Cancun, I really went through my back office and I made a plan based on what I knew at that minute. Like I calculated exactly what I needed to do with what I was seeing back there only to get the points for the trip. So I had already strategized before I got going. And then knowing the amount of people that I had talked to once they lowered the flag that I knew were wanting to order, but were just sitting back because they couldn't make a decision, I really started approaching these people. But you guys, I approached them with things like, one, I would say I had this one person who loves value, who loves a great sale. I knew exactly what patches they wanted to get started with. And I just called them up and I said, listen, I know you're really thinking about this, but for this week only, I'm offering 40% off to those who are getting started new. Oh, well, okay, today's the day. So they signed up, you know, and it also depends on the conversation that I'm having. But one thing that I did do, okay, is I got the sheet out. Okay. And I put on there that I knew that I was going to get paid as rank every week. Okay. It's just a thing for me. Many of you know that you work with me. It's the first thing that comes out of my mouth on Monday morning meetings, right? So that was a given for me. But I also went into my back office and knew exactly who I was going to be upgrading. And I wrote it in here already before I did it. I had their names written down and I just started calling and letting them know, like Jody said, you've got a free patch, or I've got a lot of people sitting at gold and platinum. You know, I voice messaged a client of mine today who wrote me and said, hey, listen, from my previous client upgrade that I had, I still have a few things left, but I need X, Y, and Z. What else do you got for me? And so I'm taking him right up to a diamond. So I'm upgrading him. I'm waiting for him to give me the go ahead tonight with the breakdown that I gave him. So you've got to have a plan. Look in your back office and who can upgrade. Even if they haven't ordered for a while, it might be the perfect time to have the conversation of, I know life got in the way, it got really crazy, but you have a client upgrade on your account and you're going to be able to get X, Y, and Z for free. Are you ready to get started again? I had 2 people do that. They just like, you know what? You're right. I need to take better care of myself. Yes, go ahead and upgrade me. So you guys, we've got all the tools in front of us. It's just that we've got to take the action to use what's sitting in our back office, use the qualification as your guide. Know who on your team is getting ready to promote. Who can you help go to manager? Who you're going to help go to director. You know, we've got the big elite thing going on. If you have people in that elite, I hope you're glued to them like white on rice, helping them get to their goal, not just for them, but for you, because they're going to learn a ton from you. But both of you are going to win to get to the trip. And when you win getting to the trip, you win in growing an incredible business. So use the qualification, use the tracker, get in your back office, know what's going on. Do not be afraid of your back office. I know a lot of you are not getting in there every day. I know you're not. Make it a habit. See what's going on back there. And then talk to new people every single day. That's what I'm doing.
Thank you. And
You're
3 years
welcome.
later, every single day, we're talking to new people.
Yep.
There is not a shortage of people on the planet.
No.
There's a shortage of mindset and work ethic, right? And we all have amazing mindsets and amazing work ethic. So we know there's an abundance of people and we know we're going to do exactly what it takes. So Sherry, if you can unmute for me, Sherry has 17 points in the last 2 weeks. Sherry, we'd love to hear how you are achieving that many points in a 2-week period of time. And all I need you to do is unmute, Sherry.
Yep, I did.
There you go. Okay,
We're
perfect.
good.
Where are you?
So I'm right here. Can you see me?
No,
Oh.
your screen
Can you
shows me
find me?
that. There you are. Okay, it shows that you're still muted, so it's all good. I can hear you though.
Okay, good. So all I've been doing is sending out messages every day, doing follow-up every day, and then getting in my back office every Monday and making sure that I follow up with people that need upgrades. And I've been doing a lot of live videos, and I bring Dr. Don and Susan on every few weeks. We've been starting that, and doing my list and making a new list of, I have over 200 people now on my list, and just doing what your son's doing is sending a message and then following up.
Oh, where'd you go?
Oh.
There you are. Can you hear me, Sherry?
Oh, she's muted.
Oh, she's
Yep.
muted again. Okay. Are you unmuted?
I'm unmuted.
Okay, there you go. Okay, sorry. For some reason it's showing you're muted. I don't know why. That's really weird. Okay, so you're just sending the messages, you're following up, you're going live, you're utilizing your upline to help you for support. I mean, those are all the things we do, right? I love it. I love
Yep,
it.
and then I'm attending everything, anything I can to learn. So
Good for you.
Awesome.
Good for you. That's exciting. Congratulations on your 17 points. That's amazing.
thank you.
Well, and I know there's a lot of you on here that already have points. Remember, we have the trackers. We've posted these in the chat or in the page, the team page. So if you don't have that yet, make sure you print one off. And here's the thing, you guys, some people don't care about trips. Some people are not interested in traveling. Yeah, somebody's raising their hand. Somebody's not interested in getting on an airplane for whatever reason. Totally fine, right? No one's going to force you to get on an airplane or go spend, a week on a beautiful island with, all your amazing close LifeWave buddy friends having, a cocktail mojito at sunset or, no one's going to force you to do those things. Don't worry. No problem. Yeah, Susan's like, force me.
Susan forced me.
Twist my arm to have, a glass of Moscato with Stacy, right? So we did that in Houston over dinner. But anyways, you guys, know that if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But know that this activity is still what we do every day. It's
Yeah.
still exactly what we do. If you don't go on the trip, it's no big deal. It's totally fine if you don't go on the trip. No one's going to make you. Don't threaten you with a good time, Bill. Exactly right, buddy. We are going to have a blast in the DR. But the thing is, the activity that you heard from Trey, that you heard from Charlene, that you heard from Susan and Jody and from Laura and from Sherry, that's what we all do every day. Now, maybe you spend a half an hour doing that each day. Maybe you spend an hour. Maybe you spend 5 or 6 or 7 hours. I don't know what your schedule looks like. Okay. It's up to you, but you got to remember, I've said this a lot lately, time management.
Yes.
is vitally important to every aspect of your life. And you can get caught scrolling on this thing, the iPad, the computer, or watching binging on Netflix very easily. And then where are your goals in life, or where are your, dreams or aspirations? Or let's be honest, we're all here to do two things. It's grow ourselves personally, like you heard Trey said. Even as a kid, he didn't want to read, but he was reading. I used to, dangle the carrot, right? I remember listening to John Maxwell and Jack Canfield both on stage when I was first in my first network marketing company. And they both said, do not pay your children to clean your house, clean your toilets, scrub your floors, pay your kids to read. And I said, thank God. That's exactly what I felt, because my parents paid me $1 to clean the damn house every single week. And I hated it. I vowed that as soon as I had money and I had my own place, I was going to pay someone to clean it. And I have paid someone to clean my house since I moved out when I was a teenager. I moved out at 17 and I hired someone to clean my house right then and there. I worked extra hours so I did not have to clean it anymore. I know that may sound crazy, but it was a thing for me. And so I paid him to read. We're here to grow ourselves, to grow our minds, and to contribute to others. And that's what we do with LifeWave. We contribute to others. And this is what this business allows us to do. And so it's just, how do you want to do it? Do you want to be like Susan sitting there at a funeral, patching people? Why not, right? Do you want to be like Charlene? Do you want to get in the truck and drive all over, the state and helping patching people and talking to people everywhere you go, or do you want to be like Jody and do you want to reach out to people, on your messages? Do you want to send messages like Sherry and Jody are doing, or do you want to do it, on videos and things like that, like Trey, or, how do you want to reach out to people? It's how do I want to make that impact? You get to decide that, but we all get the same 24 hours. And the I'm busy, I'm so busy is crazy. We are not so busy. We are self-consumed with crazy stuff, right? So we all have the time. And I think it's just making it important, whether you want to go on the trip or not. Why are we highlighting the trip? We're going to keep highlighting the trip. We're going to have a blast. We are going to have hundreds and hundreds of people there from Team Evolve, right? I know for a fact we will have well over 100 people on this team alone that will be there. And we've set a goal to have several hundred from Team Evolve there in the DR. We're going to have a great time being able just to hang out by the pool, right? Have dinner together, lunches, whatever. Go for a walk on the beach. Marcy and I went for a walk on the beach every morning. It was so amazing, right? Just to have that chill time, have a cup of coffee, right? Have a glass of wine at dinner, whatever it may be. But we want you to be at all the things we're doing, right? You guys know we have our big event in July in Orlando. I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you do not have your ticket yet, that is going to be an incredible event and we want you all there. That is going to take place in 2 months from right now. Those of you that hit senior director, will be bringing you in early for that leadership retreat. And that starts on the 17th. And Andrea has her ticket. We are going to be there. I know you are. And so that's our next big event we're building to. And then from there, you guys, honestly, we don't have another big event until convention. So I want you to keep that in mind, right? Building to events is super important, and getting people at the events, bringing them with you, it just inspires people, right? It excites them and helps you to grow and make more of an impact. Drop that stone in the water, right? That ripple effect goes out. That's what we're here for. We're here to make that difference and that impact. And all of you have that right here at your fingertips. Okay. So thank you all for being here this evening. Thank you to everyone that's contributed tonight, that shared. We're excited. I looked at the feed and there's a lot of people that have, 6, 8, 10, 12 points. Remember, we have 18 weeks. We have 18 weeks to earn this trip. Every single person in this team can earn this trip in 18 weeks, right? I will have this trip finished. Well, Trey will. We will have this one of our trips finished this week. It will be done this week, one of them. Brent is about a little over a quarter of the way there or a third of the way there on his trip. We're over, I think we're at 25 points for his. So we're earning this trip this month because that's what we do, right? Leaders lead by example. If I can do it, you can do it. So I challenge any of you that want to get out there and get your trip earned this month as well. We're going to have a big celebration for those of us that earn it this month. And I know every single person can do it if you want to. So thank you all for being here this evening. I look forward to seeing you on our Patching podcast coming up next. Bye, guys.